So I turn it over to you.
If you want to take any pictures, I gotta give it.
All right. Well, this was almost the first news conference in history that involved elected officials that started early. But I was told that no, we have to wait at least until 9:30 to give everyone a chance to be here. So now it's permissible to start. So we're ready to announce what truly is fantastic news for the city of Toledo. It's an announcement that is in some ways 15 years in the making and represents yet another piece of the economic development success story that Toledo has become over the last several years. We are here to announce, and we'll talk to give you a chance to talk to the business person who's making this happen. But we're here today to announce the development of the old North Towne Mall site. Specifically, my administration is going to introduce two ordinances to City Council this week. They'll appear on Council's agenda at the next meeting on November 3rd. That will authorize the city to enter into a purchase and sale contract with North Point Development to redevelop the old North Towne Mall property. North Towne and its 60 acres represent the largest available pad-ready development site in the city of Toledo. This was the big one. This was the one that we have been working so hard for so many years to develop. Now, a few years ago, we had Southwick that needed to be developed, and the Marina project that needed to be developed, and the old Medcore textile leather site that needed to be developed. And one by one, those sites were developed. It is, in fact, among the reasons that Toledo this year was awarded the Governor's Cup by Site Selection magazine as the #1 city, the entire country, for new business development. But we knew that there was even more to be done. There were a lot of ideas over the years for Southwick and for North Towne, and a lot of good ideas. And we over the years we heard everything from youth soccer complex and different. Boy, everyone seems to want. Was it a Trader Joe's? All kinds of ideas. A lot of interest in opportunities like that, and there's a place for that in our economy, and those are wonderful opportunities here. But for this site, we wanted and always knew that the highest and best use would be an opportunity aligned with the auto industry in particular, and with advanced manufacturing opportunities. They provide the highest wages, the most opportunity for growth, and interact almost perfectly with what we do in this region extraordinarily well, and that's build things, and in particular build automobiles and parts for automobiles. The model here that we're talking about has already been used once to some extent, and that was over at the Overland Industrial Park. Now, the Overland Industrial Park is home to 550,000 square feet of buildings, and that produced 2,000 jobs. So you can imagine how excited we are to announce, and I think maybe now is the time that Cody can flip the board over. What North Point Development is going to build will be two buildings of 860,000 square feet, which will produce a minimum of 500 high-paying, advanced manufacturing jobs, but has the potential for so much more. Indeed, if the Overland Industrial Park at 550,000 square feet produced 2,000 jobs, I think we are being extraordinarily conservative in estimating that 860,000 square feet will produce 500 jobs. It's almost certain to be so much more than that. This is, this model has worked. This model has worked at Overland. To some extent, it's worked out near the airport. I know that there are developers who built these sorts of buildings out there, and already they are filling up. And indeed, over at Overland, they filled up extraordinarily quickly. The same thing is going to happen here. What made this property so difficult to develop? Councilwoman Moline is with us, and we'd love to invite her up here as well. Is that there were whoops, I dropped it. Sorry about that. There were cross easement issues. Am I right? There were the title and the easements and the cross easements governing this land behind us were extraordinarily difficult to unwind. The challenge in developing this property wasn't good ideas. We had plenty of good ideas. It wasn't willing developers. Frankly, we've had, Brandon can give us the exact number, but dozens of developers have approached us with ideas very similar to this, if not identical to this. We had a deal earlier this year that was this close to an announcement, and they all ended up not being able to work out again, not because the market couldn't support it, not because there was interest, but there were a series of complicated cross easement issues going back to 1980 when Mel Simon and his company built the North Towne Mall here. And it took a lot of very complex work by Brandon Sehlhorst and his team and our attorneys to sort of unwind the red tape. But because of Brandon and his team and their commitment to doing things right, we're finally here today to announce what has to be the most exciting economic development deal in Toledo this year. And that's saying a lot at a time when we're winning national awards for our economic development. The North Towne Mall used to be here. This was my mall when I was growing up. Those of you who were at the P&J Industries News Conference earlier this week know exactly where I grew up, because my parents, who still live there, they're adjacent to that property. So you know that's just a mile away from there. So a little street called Capistrano. This was our mall. Councilwoman McPherson is here. We'd like to invite her to join us as well. I don't know if you have any North Towne Mall stories, but we've meandered into that part of the agenda. This is where I had a chance as an 8-year-old to either meet Muhammad Ali or Billy Sims of the Detroit Lions, and of course I chose Billy Sims, and had a chance to meet him in the food court and get my picture taken with him. I can't tell you how many movies and experiences in my teenage years happened here, but the economy changed. And I think we know that. It happened, the same economic forces that turned Southwick into a long vacant property before we developed it, turned North Towne into a long vacant property. And it's happening all over the country. As the economy shifts, as people choose to engage in retail in a different way than they did from 1980 to 2005 when there was a mall here. What cities like Toledo have are opportunities to try to reimagine them in a different way. We held out for the right opportunity. The right opportunity for Southwick was Amazon, for all sorts of reasons. The logistical speed to market issues that exist in that part of Toledo was the right thing, and Brandon and his team held out and did it right. Here at North Towne, with the access to the expressways, the proximity to other suppliers, what's right here is advanced manufacturing, almost certainly tier 1 auto industry suppliers with high paying jobs that will sustain this neighborhood, redevelop this place, and continue Toledo's economic momentum. It's a monumental day in our city's history, and I'm so glad to be joined by members of our economic development team with Tim, and so glad that Tim has decided to invest, I believe it's $70 million, $70 million of his company's dollars into this space. glad City Council is here because the legislative process begins. Again, we're introducing these 2 ordinances this week. The hope is, and Tim will tell you when he takes the microphone, they have an ambitious schedule that would involve breaking ground in the spring, building these 2 buildings, 860,000 square feet. And I know at least one of the tenants that they're talking to has a very ambitious timeline of moving jobs in by the end of 2022. Whether or not that happens, it is certainly the case that when you toggle over to the spring of 2023, we will have high-paying jobs sustaining a site that for 15 years has been a vacant blight. I think it's always a win for Toledo to eliminate vacant, blighted areas, but if you can eliminate vacant, blighted areas while creating jobs, as we did at Southwick, as we did at Textile Leather, as we're doing here, those are truly the grand slams of economic development, and we've been hitting a lot of grand slams lately. So, on behalf of the City of Toledo, we're excited to be here. We're excited for this announcement, and I would like to turn it over to Brandon Sehlhorst, our Commissioner of Economic Development, to talk a little bit more about the project. And in welcoming him to the microphone, I want to just reiterate how incredible a job he and his team have been doing over this last year. These are the things we've accomplished, and I think it might be on that placard. These are major economic development projects that have eluded the city for a decade plus. I mean, how many years was Southwick vacant? 10, 12? Brandon and his team come in, and this year redevelop. How long was this vacant? 15 years? Brandon and his team come in and they unwind the cross easements and get it done. How many years was Medcor and Textile Leather vacant? 10, 15 years? Decades of vacant, blighted space. Within the span of 12 to 18 months, Brandon and his team have turned it into hundreds and indeed thousands of high-paying, high-wage jobs in the core of our city. And he does not get enough credit for that, which is a reality I'm trying to correct right now. But I just want everyone to know what an excellent job he does. So, Brandon Sehlhorst.
Wow, thank you. Good morning, and thank you, Mayor. Well, this is a great day for our community as we announce the redevelopment of one of our city's signature properties, a former indoor mall site that has sat vacant for more than 15 years without a real vision for redevelopment. However, despite its history, this site represents a major opportunity because it is in fact our largest available industrial site. We are proud to announce today our partnership with North Point Development to build our city's next industrial park. This partnership will lead to the construction of a 300,000 square foot speculative industrial building next spring. In today's ultra-competitive world of economic development, it's all about eliminating risk and increasing speed to market for businesses. North Point's proposed spec building will put Toledo in a very competitive position to compete for new opportunities going forward. It's probably no surprise to you that this site had its fair share of issues that prevented it from being redeveloped. Most of our brownfield sites do, which makes this work very challenging and yet that much more rewarding. The point is, there's a lot that goes into these projects in order for us to get to an announcement like today. And that process really begins when you have a vision. When I took this position a few years ago, I was reminded by a mentor of 2 quotes that were shared with me upon starting my career. The first by Wayne Dyer: "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change." And the second by Tony Robbins: "If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten." This list of 11 projects, successful projects to my right, is a testament to this community's ability to think outside the box. Our ability to be proactive, strategic, and oftentimes very, very patient. 655 acres redeveloped, 3,100 new jobs. Jobs that would have gone elsewhere if we didn't start changing the way that we looked at these sites. This is what it takes to be the #1 mid-sized city in America for economic development. And this is the work that we must do to move our community forward and to continue to compete on a global scale. I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight folks on my team that played a huge role in getting us here today, one of which is Mark Gerdeman, who's right here to my right. Without Mark's leadership on this site, which dates back to when the city acquired it and secured funding through the state of Ohio and the US EPA, who are thankful for the investment in this site. Without his leadership early on and continuing on to now, we would not be here today. I'd also like to thank the city's law department, who worked with us over the years to untangle the issues that challenge this site, and also everyone on my economic development team. It really takes a team of multiple dedicated people to get to this point today. And finally, Toledo City Council. Council has been very supportive of our efforts to redevelop this site, including passing ordinances to amend our original agreement with the previous owners earlier this year, and in September rezoning the site to general industrial, all of which have paved the way for us to be at this announcement today. So thank you, Council, and the members who have joined us today. It's now my pleasure to introduce you to Tim Conder, Vice President of Acquisitions for North Point Development, to share a little bit more about this project. Tim, thank you.
Oh, sorry about that. That's the way to start. Mayor Kapszukiewicz, Brandon, Councilperson Morris, thank you. Distinguished guests, other council members, it's an honor to be here. Good morning. It's exciting to be here in Toledo. I'm Tim Conder. I'm with North Point Development. It's an exciting day to announce this project. This project will be a state-of-the-art Class A industrial complex. 2 buildings, both buildings will be product that has not been developed yet in Toledo. 40-foot clears on the larger building, 36-foot clear on the single load. These are state-of-the-art buildings that we're beginning to build in the major markets across the country. As the mayor noted, the total capital investment for this project will be approximately $70 million. The mayor also touched on the jobs. There's 2 components of the jobs. There's the construction aspect of it, which we've estimated will generate at least 200 jobs, many of which will be local trades that are hired. The permanent jobs are related to the ultimate occupancy. We've estimated those to be at a minimum of 500. As they've indicated over at Overland, there's quite a few more, but we like to underpromise and overdeliver on those. North Point Development is the #1 developer in the country. We've built more industrial space in the last 5 years than any other developer in the country. We're based in Kansas City. We have offices across the country, including one in Detroit and one in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is the 2nd largest office in the country. So we have a lot of experience in the state of Ohio. We like the markets, and we're glad we're here. North Point has over 27 million square feet under construction currently in the country, across the country. Soon that number will increase when we start development on this site in the spring. As soon as the weather breaks, we'll be under construction. As the mayor noted, usually these projects of this magnitude will take 12 months to complete from start to finish. The mall's down, there's not any demolition. Like I said, as soon as the weather breaks, we'll be breaking ground, and that 27 million square feet under construction is going to go up immediately. Why do we like Toledo? This is our North Point's first development in the city of Toledo. 3 reasons. One, we like the industrial market. There's a lack of Class A product. Class A being some of the specifications I mentioned, the higher clear height. As we're seeing in the automotive industry, as it goes to the electrification, their supply chain needs to be changed. They can't use a lot of the older buildings that they have in the past. So we feel there's an opportunity. So with the lack of Class A space and the low vacancy rate, it's attractive. Number 2, and another important aspect is the labor pool available in the city of Toledo. It's a highly skilled workforce, And as we have found in this era of the pandemic, labor's critical. You can build buildings all day long, but if you can't find people to work in them, that's a problem. And a lot of our clients who are looking for space across the country are looking for the right labor pools, not necessarily the best location, but the best location with the right labor pool. And finally, the city administration. We're looking to come in and be good corporate citizens, partner with the city, and I can't tell you, between the mayor, the members of the city council that I've met, and Brandon, it's been an absolute pleasure working with the city. I work with a lot of municipalities across the country, and in all honesty, this is the best one I've worked with thus far. So we're extremely pleased to be here. It's an honor to be here. We're excited, and we look forward to partnering with the city and bring this new development to fruition. Thank you. And now, Councilperson Morris.
Well, good morning, Toledoans from District 6. How exciting. You know, compared to what used to be here, the mayor and I shared very poignant stories about our times coming here, watching movies, and learning how to drive around the corner here. And so now I'm sad that the mall is gone, but I'm happy. I'm very happy that this development is happening in District 6. It's a true testament to our ability, as Tim had just said, to marry workers and development, eliminate blight, and this is going to be a flagship for more thoughtful development along the Alexis and Telegraph corner. I am so excited to see this. I'm happy that the city saw a vision for this, as they did for other locations, and soon more jobs will be coming to this site with our skilled workforce. And why are they coming to Toledo? Because you know the hashtag, you will do better in Toledo. So thank you all.
I'd like to give an opportunity to Councilwoman Moline and McPherson to make some comments if they'd like. I know Councilwoman Moline.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm thrilled at this announcement. This really shows the trifecta of success in Toledo, where you could have good government, good business, and good labor all succeed in the new development in the city of Toledo. So I'm excited to see what happens next here. I'm excited to work together with my colleagues, with the developer, and with all of labor to see that this site, this cornerstone in our city of Toledo, succeeds. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Toledo. Here we are again on a new adventure. So exciting. Thank you for this opportunity. Toledo, endless possibilities. And we begin again here. I also watched movies here at North Towne and shopped at North Towne and had to take 2 buses to get out here, but it was worth the travel. It has been lying dormant for a long time. But Brandon and your team, kudos for the hard work, and we are better together. I tell you, this council team and administration working together, partnershiping with other companies, we, Toledo, will be at our best. Hang with us, keep us in your prayers, and we're moving up. Thank you.
Okay. All right. You know my style over these last couple of years. I always try to search for the right, quote from Aeschylus or Oscar Wilde, and then Sir Sandra comes in and, ends up winning the day with her natural charisma and enthusiasm. So that's I can learn a few things about public speaking from Councilwoman McPherson. So the theme here is just a lot of excitement and pride that this team has been able to turn several of this town's longest standing vacant blighted properties into real economic success stories, whether it's textile leather, whether it's the Southwick Mall in South Toledo or the North Towne Mall in North Toledo. We really have some real economic momentum, and that's why we are winning awards, national awards, for our economic development. Here, again, I'll say it one last time. We could, political pressure being what it is, we could have rushed and, developed this a different way. But we were patient enough to wait to get it right. We had developers who were intrigued in this property and said, oh boy, I can do X, Y, and Z. All you got to do is give it to me for $1. And we considered that and let that moment pass. And there were other kind of similar ideas. Here, we're not selling this for $1. In fact, we're getting paid fair market value for this. We're getting hundreds of high-paying jobs, and we're turning a neglected and blighted part of our city into a place where jobs are created and energy can happen. So we are all excited. We're proud of what we've done. We know there's more work to do, and I hope you'll all be back here in the spring when we are putting shovels in the dirt and doing the groundbreaking. So with that, I don't know if there's any questions at large or if we should just break off into one-on-ones. We'll break off into one-on-ones. Okay, thank you, everyone. You did a fantastic job preventing that from blowing over. Good job.
I know, right?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Nice to meet you.